you already. The other thing that's hard to believe is this is, for some of this is our 1-year anniversary of putting this Taylor Business Alliance together. It was exactly this time last year that we launched this. We were wanting to launch it for many, many years, but COVID kind of got in the way and disrupted a lot of things like it did for all of us in our lives and our businesses. So just to give you a little idea, for some of you that have never been here before, like, what is this? What are we doing? The Taylor Business Alliance was formed a few years ago because a bunch of us, including me, a local business owner, and the Taylor Rotary said, there's a huge disconnect in this community with businesses. And one of the things that a lot of communities do is they'll have a chamber of commerce or a business association. And we said, we want to put a hybrid model of that together and not charge dues and all that stuff, but a place where businesses can come, get together, connect with each other, meet other businesses, get involved in the community, and learn things that are going on in the community. And that's kind of why we started the Taylor Business Alliance, is we just felt, and maybe you as a business owner feel the same thing, is there's a disconnect. I don't know a lot of the other businesses. I don't know things that are going on in the community. How can I get, you call it the inner circle, how can I get in? And that's how we formed the Taylor Business Alliance, just to help businesses. So tonight, we're here to meet people, we're here to learn some things, and we're just here to connect and get involved in our community. That's what we're here to do tonight, and I'm just excited that we made it a year. We didn't know how this thing was going to go. We didn't know how the Alliance was going to launch, but a huge thanks to Taylor Rotary for supporting this idea and dream that I had of putting this together. We've had numerous events, and you're going to see some of the events that we've put on because of our Alliance members, and just the way that we've been able to impact the community. And I have met so many other businesses and got to become really good friends with them and use each other. I hope some of you guys got to see the little promotional video that we put together for this, and if you haven't, I'll get an email to you. But we've just had some great success with this and made some great partnerships, and it's been exciting, and I'm excited to see what 2023 is going to bring. And you guys are in for a treat tonight for some of the stuff that I'm going to show you. But the first thing I want to thank is our sponsor. The food and the drinks, the soft drinks were provided tonight, and I see him back there eating. Mr. Daryl Jameson from J&M Towing, so thank you for the food tonight. And again, a big thank you to the Taylor Rotary Club. Alice Persek, our president of Taylor Rotary. Alice, you here? Alice is a big help with us for Taylor Rotary as well. So because those two organizations coming together, we're able to have a night like this tonight. And of course, a big thank you to Brad Gibson and his staff here at the Lakes of Taylor. They always put on a great thing, so hopefully Brad can hear. Let's all give it up for Brad and all the awesome food and staff. So I want to give you guys just a quick, go back one just real quick, reminder, I didn't know if I put it up there, but the next Business Alliance meeting we're going to have here will be April 20th. So make sure you mark your calendar. I'm letting you know now, April 20th, we're going to meet here and do this again. Don't have the speakers lined up and all that stuff, but some of the things that we got coming up, and I'll give you the dates as we're going through this, is the State of the City address with Mr. Mayor Woolley. You're going to hear from him in a couple of minutes, but the State of the City is coming up. I'll show you a date for that. But one of the other things, we're talking about some of these community events. I don't know if your heart's wired like mine, but I love giving back and making a difference in the community. And so our Touch a Truck, maybe you don't know what that is, but we just, and I'll go to the slide and show you. Our Wounded America ride, which is a huge thing with Foundation 14. I'm going to show you that slide in a second. We had a great time this year with our softball tournament with the Taylor PD versus the Michigan State Police Post here in Taylor. And then our fall golf classic that we have here at Lakes of Taylor with Rotary 2. So those are just some of the things that you can get involved with. But the next one is February 16th. Mayor Woolley does his State of the City address. That is an event put on by Taylor Rotary. If you want to attend this, and I'm just giving you a little hint, you want to attend this, okay? It is amazing, and it is technically sold out, but because you're here and you're part of the Taylor Business Alliance has some tables. So if you're interested in going to the State of the City address to hear Mayor Woolley, tickets are $60 a piece, but if you're interested, see this guy right here that's doing the slides, Mr. Larry Wright, see him tonight. He is going to be in charge of that because I am going to throw myself under the bus. I'm sorry, I am not going to be there. I'm going to be in Hawaii, so. I go every year, and I'm trying to get Mayor Woolley to change the dates, or maybe I'll just have him come to Hawaii with me. So I think he'd probably rather do that too. I think we all would. So.
I'll make a deal with it.
All right, we'll work something out. And then our Touch a Truck event, we did this last year for the first time, and what an amazing night. People from all, we had it at Beacon Baptist right there at Northline Church, and the First Albanian Church right there next door. Both of those churches came together and we did a Touch-A-Truck event. And the city of Taylor came through tremendously with us too with some of their vehicles. And I know this is Larry's favorite, Tow Mater from the movie Cars was there. But you see, kids coming and just touching the trucks, getting in the trucks. It was just an amazing. And I'm going to ask for some audience participation. I think we have one of the pictures. What do you think was the biggest attraction at the Touch-A-Truck? And think of all the trucks, from fire trucks to police cars to tanks, all that. What do you think was the biggest attraction? Anybody got any guesses?
School buses.
It was the school bus. Hard to believe, but the school bus was the biggest attraction. They had the longest line at this event. But if you want to be a part of this, if you've got a vehicle that you want to have in the Touch-A-Truck, if you want to be a sponsor and help, because we all know just things aren't free, but if you guys want to be a sponsor or you want to be there to be able to attend, if you got some connections, we're going high this year. I think Larry's talking, we're going to have the Wayne County Mounted Police there, possibly some helicopters there. We're going to take it to another level this year, but this is one of our Rotary fundraisers, but what a way to give back to the community, all right? Surface-to-air missiles, okay, I like that. All right, and then the Wounded America Ride. This is a ride that helps Foundation 14. It's a great fundraiser that Mr. Larry Wright's been putting on for years. And if you know, and this helps veterans that maybe can't ever ride again because maybe of an injury. This foundation helps customize bikes for these guys and gals so they can still ride, because when they come back from the service, it was a community in the service, and they come back here to the States and they lose that sense of community, especially if they were a rider. Now they can't ride anymore. Foundation 14 helps these veterans get back on bikes again and get it customized, so maybe if they lost an arm or a leg or whatever, they customize bikes for them. And because of Larry Wright and Foundation 14 and doing this Wounded America Ride, it's been a huge success. I think last year you guys raised over $30,000. $35,000 to help this cause. So if this is something near and dear to your heart, put that on your calendar. The date is Saturday, July 8th. And then the next one that we've got, this was one of the favorite things we did last year. I put this on and I had a blast, is we had a little bit of a grudge match with the Taylor Police Department versus the Michigan State Police Department in a charity softball game that helped raise money, but also we called it Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. We brought their families in and had bounce houses for the kids, and thanks to Bubba's 33, they cooked burgers and dogs for all the families and all the police officers, and we just had a blast. And we got to know the Michigan State Police Department even better, and our Taylor Fire Department, or Taylor Police Department, and Taylor PD won the game. And so MSP wants to have a little bit of a rematch. I won't tell you the email trash talk that MSP gave me today, but they want that trophy in their showcase, not in Taylor's. But anyway, and then our golf outing is Saturday, October 7th here at Lakes of Taylor. And a lot of these things, yes, are Rotary related, but what we do at Rotary is we give back to the community in so many different ways. So these are just some of our major, and if you got a golf team, you want to be a sponsor, and if you saw early on in the slide, we call it the trifecta. We're making a deal for sponsors. If you give a certain dollar amount, you're sponsored at all of the events. You don't have to sponsor each individual event. So if you're interested in that, we'll be getting more information out there, but this is what we're talking about, getting involved in the community, and this is just one of them. So now, so now, before we even get all our speakers kicked off, we can't recognize the best guy in the house is our mayor, Mayor Tim Woolley. He's here. I'm going to have him come up, introduce some of the city officials who are here, and just talk. And he is actually a Taylor Rotarian as well. We love having him with us in this organization. But he's going to come up, talk to you guys, let know what's going on, introduce some of the city officials that are here. So everybody, give it up for Mayor Tim Woolley.
Well, thanks for that, Keith. But I'm clearly not the best guy in the house. I can tell you that right now. First of all, thanks for being here tonight. I'm really happy to see the amount of people sitting in the room here today. I think this has been a success from the start. Literally want to give Keith and Larry a happy anniversary, basically, because they struck quickly. As soon as I got into office, Keith and Larry scheduled a meeting with me and said, hey, we want to bring an idea to your attention and what you think. And when they presented it, I thought it was an outstanding idea. Taylor is a part of the Southwestern Chamber, which does a great job for everybody downriver, but this just makes it a little more local. So I think that's beneficial to the community, and everything I've seen so far definitely shown that. People I want to thank Laura Fell from our planning department. She runs our planning, so if you're considering opening a business or if you have a business here, Laura's here to talk to you about planning. And we also have Jesse Harrington. He's in charge of our building department. He's one of our head inspectors as well, so he's got answers for your questions if you need anything. So I do appreciate them coming. They're on their own time tonight. I did offer to buy their drinks, so luckily Laura's drinking pop, but I know Jesse's going to have a few beers, so which I don't mind cooking. Great people for the city, and I appreciate them very much.
Hold on a little bit.
Yeah. 2 beer minimum, maximum. So, again, I really thank everybody for being here. This has been such a great program, and definitely word of mouth helps. So try to share it with people. I know there's some new people here in the room tonight. I see Ali from Dairy Queen, Taylor Dairy Queen. He came tonight. He wanted to see what everything's about and stuff. So business owners or even people that are just thinking about opening a business, or just somebody that just wants to kind of be informed on how things are going in the city. This is kind of one of those things where you can come in, get some free food and some drinks and kind of learn what's going on, and then get some nice information just, from everybody. There's different aspects each time. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Feel free if you have any questions as the evening goes on. I'm available, Jesse and Laura's available, so we hopefully can answer any questions that you may have. And please consider Taylor as your home of your next new business. Thanks,
All right, so we're gonna get started with our program. Just so you guys know what we talk about, we want to have opportunities to learn as well. So one of the things we got a couple presentations tonight. And then we want you to hang out and mingle afterwards, get to know each other, and just build some relationships and some camaraderie. But when we first had our first meeting last year, it was a huge hit. It was a hit because of this gentleman I'm introduced, Ron Moran. Ron Moran was our keynote speaker at this last event, and he brought the house down. He brought so many people's jaws hit the floor going, man, I didn't know that. That's awesome. And then Larry was telling me some cool stories that Ron would like to share too, and I actually like him. But Ron is the chairman of our TIFA board. He's going to explain more about that. But we thought, what the best person to come back for our 1-year anniversary for doing it was the guy that helped us launch this and really set the bar high for what the Taylor Business Alliance has to offer. So I'm excited for an encore presentation tonight from the TIFA board, Mr. Ron Moran.
Thanks, Keith, and thanks, Larry, for inviting me back. When Larry invited me back, he said to make sure I keep my remarks to under 2 hours, so just kidding. What I wanted to do tonight is to kind of give you a background of economic development in Taylor and how TIFA has fit into that over the years. And back in April of 1968, Taylor was a township, and there was a item on the ballot to either stay a township or to become a city. And on that same ballot, if the ballot proposal to become a city passed, then they were also electing a mayor, clerk, treasurer, and city council. And so, there you go to the next slide. The first mayor that was elected in Taylor was Dick Trolley in 1968. And back then, Taylor was obviously a growing community, and there was a lot of housing development in the city at the time, a lot of vacant property, and that's kind of where the economic development started. And housing is part of economic development as well as business and commercial and industrial business. And so one of the stories that I didn't get a chance to talk to when I was here last time was in the late 60s and early 70s, the Detroit Lions had decided to move out of Detroit. And they were looking for a location. And they had asked cities, anybody that was interested in having a stadium come to their community, to submit a proposal. Well, Mayor Trolley and some of his senior people decided that they wanted to submit a proposal to get the new Lions Stadium in Taylor. So they came up with the name Taylor Home for the Dome. And so they submitted a proposal. And as word goes, they really didn't want to stay in Detroit, but there were 2 locations in Detroit that were identified. One was along the Detroit River, and one was the State Fairgrounds. And then the city of Pontiac and Walled Lake had also submitted a proposal. So the Detroit Lions got 5 proposals for the new stadium. And so they really didn't want to locate in Detroit, so you kind of throw out those 2. So then it narrows down to 3, Walled Lake, Pontiac, and Taylor. And Walled Lake really wasn't being strongly considered by the Detroit Lions. So now you've got 2 cities, Pontiac and Taylor. The site that Taylor had submitted was not too far across the street here. It was between Goddard and Northline and Inkster and Beach Daily. And the Lions liked the site for a number of reasons. Obviously, the airport was a mile away, so teams flying in, visitors flying in could get to the stadium because it was only a mile away. You also had I-94 on the north side of the city. You had 75 at the east end of the city, and you had Telegraph. So you had good transportation routes to get into the city. And so that was the main reason why Taylor was narrowed down to one of the finalists. Obviously, they ended up going to Pontiac, and the reason they gave was because Oakland County, that's where population growth was expected in that part of the town, so that's why they located there. So I thought that was, that was one of the first big economic development opportunities that the city of Taylor went after years ago. So then the other big development in Taylor at the time was Southland Mall. And that was a regional mall, so it really kind of put Taylor on the map because people from a long distance were coming to Taylor to shop at Southland Mall. And then there was obviously a lot of housing going on at the time. So then, next slide, Barry. So then Dick Marshall was elected, and housing development continued and growth along mainly Eureka, Telegraph, and Ecorse Road continued. And so there wasn't a lot of big development, but there was gradual growth within the city during his administration. And then Don Zub got elected. And back then, economic times were kind of tough then, and so there wasn't a lot of growth going on in the city back during his administration. And typically, there's not a lot of money for cities to do a lot of economic development. They generate revenue through their taxes. They get Act 51 money through the roads, and that usually comes from the state to the county to the city. And then when Mayor Zub was in office, Taylor got what they call the Community Development Block Grant. And that was a grant that came from the federal government because of the population of the city, the size of the city, and a certain amount of people that were low and moderate income. And those dollars had to be spent in the census tracts where those low and moderate income people lived. And at the time, Taylor was getting about $1.6 million a year to do some things with. But again, they couldn't use it for whatever they wanted because the federal government put restrictions on how that money could be spent. So that was really the economic development that was going on during the Zub administration because times were a little tough and there wasn't a lot of money other than this community development block grant. And that could be used for things like improving the roads, water, sewer. Some money was given to homeowners to fix up their home. And then if they did that, they had to commit that they were going to live in the home, I think, for another 5 years because they don't want people to just fix up the home and then turn around and sell it and make a profit. So then Kim Priebe got elected. And I had the pleasure of working for both Don Zub and Kim Priebe. And when Kim got elected, he really wanted to sort of raise the bar for the city. He wanted to change the image, change the brand. And he felt that if all the city buildings and operation were really first class, then he could go to the businesses in the city and try to convince them to upgrade, the look of their building, whether it's better landscaping, keeping up their properties and things like that. So he felt he needed to set the example for the community and doing things the right way. And he wanted to clean up. There were some issues with ordinance violations and things like that. But he really wanted to change the image of the city and worked real hard at doing that. And then in the mid-'80s, a new state law came into effect that was called the Tax Increment Finance Law. And I don't want to get into into the weeds with too many details, but it was a law that allowed a community in a commercial or industrial district that you could prove that they had declining property values. You could set up a district, and within that district, from that day forward, anytime taxes increased, this Tax Increment Finance Authority captured that money and then took that money and put it right back into that district and made public improvements. And that was brand new to the state of Michigan, and Mayor Priebe was smart enough to jump into that program, and we actually set up, if you want to go to the next slide, Larry, we actually set up 6 different TIFA districts at the time that it was, the law was enacted. We had one on Telegraph, Northline, Eureka, Taylor Meadows, Ecor, Van Born, and then I-94 Beverly. So what we were able to do was collect money in those districts, and this is money that would go to other taxing jurisdictions like Wayne County, the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks, and other places where that tax money left the city, and then you would hope that that money would come back to the city by way of other improvements, but we always know how that goes. When you give money to another taxing jurisdiction, to get it back is pretty hard. So what TIFA allowed us to do is to capture that money instead of it going to these other taxing jurisdictions, and then make public improvements in Taylor. So we're keeping the money in Taylor. And some of the projects that were started was, there was flooding problems in Taylor years ago, and Mayor Priebe wanted to figure out how the best to do that. And so how do you resolve this issue? And so he brought our consultants, Wade Trim at the time, in, and what they basically decided to do was dig a big hole and let the stormwater collect in the hole until the rest of the water could go downriver, because everything flows down through Wyandotte. So it's Romulus, Taylor, Southgate, Wyandotte, and then into the Detroit River. Well, if the system downriver can't handle the water, it starts to back up, and it was always backing up in Taylor. So Kim decided that the best way to do that was to basically build a big hole or a pond to collect the water. Well, if you dig this hole, you're going to have to do something with the dirt. And so what they decided to do was to build a golf course. So they took the dirt out of this detention pond that they were building, and then they used it to shape a golf course. And Taylor Meadows is restricted by how much land you can use, because there's a subdivision to the east, I-94 is to the north, Beach Daily is to the south, or E-Course is to the south, and Beach Daily is to the west. So there was only a certain amount of property that could be used to do the golf course, which is why that's a smaller golf course than Lakes of Taylor. And one of the interesting things happened at the time was that was a vacant piece of property, and the city was negotiating to buy that so they could do this golf course. And the property was owned by AMC, which is American Motors Corporation at the time. Well, Lee Iacocca had just been fired by Henry Ford II and went to work at Chrysler. And Chrysler happened to be in the, at that time they were buying AMC. So while Taylor was negotiating for this property, we basically had the deal all negotiated. We were kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Lee Iacocca put out a word that no property was to be sold until he had a chance to review it and see if Chrysler was going to use it, because now they owned all the property that AMC had owned. So after a delay of a couple months, Lee Iacocca decided it was okay to sell that property to Taylor, and then we built Taylor Meadows. One of the next projects that Kim worked on was the widening of Northline Road, which is where we're located here today. And for those of that have been here in Taylor for a long time, remember that it was just a 2-lane highway, and there was a lot of vacant land along Northline Road. And one of the people that used to travel North Line Road a lot, because his business was in Southgate at the corner of Allen and North Line, was a gentleman named Heinz Prechter. And Heinz was an entrepreneur that had brought the sunroof technology from Germany to the US and started building sunroofs for the auto industry. And his first production vehicle was a 67 Cougar, and back then they used to call it a moonroof. Well, he had the technology and became very successful in that business. And Heinz used to take North Line Road from his business in Southgate to the airport all the time because he traveled a lot. And he took a liking to Mayor Priebe, and so they got together numerous times to talk about growth and how Downriver could improve. And one of the things that he suggested was, you got all this vacant land here along North Line Road, you need to improve the road, you need to improve the water and sewer and really open that up for development. And so that was one of the other TIFA projects that we used TIFA money to make those improvements. If you drive along North Line today, I mean, all the way from Telegraph, really all the way to the airport, you'll see nothing but industrial development, and it's really been a big boom for Taylor to redevelop this property. And then the last project is where we're sitting at today. Again, this was built because of flooding issues in the city, and all the water spots here during the airport, or I mean at the golf course here, is all used for retention of water that stays here until the system downriver can accept it and stop the flooding here. But this, we had a lot more property that we were able to purchase and build a much better, nicer, bigger golf course here. And so that's why you have sort of a smaller golf course at Taylor Meadows and a nicer, bigger one here at Lakes of Taylor. Then Mayor Petoniak was elected. Kim Priebe decided he wanted to try something different and moved on to Wayne County. And so Greg became the mayor of Taylor. And at that time, there was not a lot of new residential going on. There was a time when kind of built out residential-wise, and Greg made a real concentrated effort to bring additional housing into the city. And there was another incentive program that was started by the state called Brownfield. And I won't get into too much detail about that, but basically if you have a contaminated site, you can use tax dollars to clean up the site and then redevelop it. And Greg and his administration had done a lot of that to make improvements in the city with some properties that were kind of challenged. And so, next slide. And so some of the things that he did was we used TIFA money to build the TSX, and as you know, that can be used for soccer and ice hockey and skating and things like that. And then the picture on the bottom right is the Island Lakes, which is at Goddard near Allen Road, happened under his administration. And then a lot of people don't know that when the bridge was being rebuilt over Telegraph at I-94, MDOT was going to do just a regular bridge. And there was some discussion with the administration at the time that, you know, what can we do a little special? And if you remember, at the same time, that's when the Super Bowl was coming to Detroit. And so there was a big push that, you know, we need to dress up 94 from the airport downtown. And Mayor Petoniak was able to reach a deal with MDOT that we used TIFA money to, we gave MDOT or partially paid for improving that bridge. So without TIFA money, that bridge would not be there today. It would have been just a regular bridge like you see anywhere else. And then Mayor Lamron got elected, and it's kind of unfortunate that, you know, sometimes when you're a mayor, you really have no control over economic times and kind of how things are going. But when he got elected, we were in some real hard economic times, and TIFA didn't really do a lot during his administration because he was really just trying to keep the lights on at City Hall, and he had to reduce staff, and he had some real challenges because of the economic times during his administration. So Tifa really, we did some improvements along, you know, the different water and sewer and some road improvements, but we didn't do a lot during those years. So then Mayor Solers got elected, and he really wanted to sort of up the game as it related to the brand and the image of the city, and so that was very important to him. And there was a lot of development going on during his administration, mainly along Eureka Road, here along North Line. And so Tifa made a number of improvements during his administration, the biggest one of which was at Eureka, where the BJ's and the Menards was built, and that was, and some other improvements along Eureka Road. And remember, in these Tifa districts, every time there's development, that increases the tax rate and Tifa gets more money. So every time, I mean, you want development because that puts more money in the Tifa, and then the Tifa puts more money back into the city. So it's just kind of a rotating things where you collect money and put more money back into the city. One of the other things that we had done that people, it's kind of hard to recognize unless you really know the details, is I drive Eureka Road and I hate stopping at all those lights. Every time you just go from one light to another, it seems like it's always a red light. So Tifa decided that they were going to upgrade the traffic lights there. And I don't know what they're called, and Kelly, you might know the right name for them, but I call them the smart lights. And the way they're set up is that if there's a lot of traffic in one direction, but not much traffic in the other direction, it'll stay greener longer to move that traffic where all the traffic is backed up. So if there's 2 cars in one direction, but there's 20 in the other, the light will stay green until most of those cars are through the light, and then it'll switch for the other side. And so hopefully as you drive Eureka, you notice that traffic flows a lot better on Eureka than it used to. And then, and I've had a chance to, I knew Mayor Trolley because my dad, Mitch Moran, was a councilman in his administration. So I got to know him as a young teenager, and I didn't really know Mayor Marshall, but since then I've had a chance to work for Don Zub and work for Kim Priebe, and then work with the other 4 mayors after that. And luckily I've been appointed to the Tifa board. I've been a member since 1987 and been reappointed by each of the mayors, and Mayor Woolley reappointed me after he got in office, so thank you, Mayor. And since he's been in office, the Tifa board has been very active in trying to get some things done. We've already authorized to replace all of the streetlights along Telegraph Road. And you might notice that sometimes they go out and they're out for a while, and so we've decided that we're going to spend, I don't remember what's like $1.5 million to change out all those lights. We just recently repaved all the parking lot at the DPW building right here, and you would never think about it, but it's $1 million to do that. And part of the responsibility of the things that we built with Tifa is to maintain those, because a lot of times, like the golf courses and the TSX, they don't make enough money they make enough money typically to run, but they don't make enough money to make improvements in their facilities. And we're trying to keep a certain image here in the city, and so we want people, when they come to our facilities, to know that we're trying to keep them up and keep them maintained. And so through Mayor Woolley's office now, the Tifa is doing a lot of those kind of upgrades. I think there's one more. Since Mayor Woolley's been in office, there's been some additional development going on along Eureka Road, and Unifor is a business that's located on Monroe right now, and they're going to move to Inkster, creating jobs for not only Taylor residents but other residents downriver. And I've always looked at it that just because something happens in one city and not another, that doesn't mean it's not a benefit for Taylor or the surrounding communities. And the last project I want to talk about is what we're doing on Eureka Road. You may have seen our 2 new signs sort of broadcasting that this is Eureka Way, and these were designed by the landscape architect at Wade Trim, and they kind of tie into, or they play off of the bridge at 94 and Telegraph. And it's just a way to sort of brand the street and try to get people to identify that, you know, this is the main commercial shopping district in Taylor. And we've got a lot of plans along Eureka Road. There's a big drainage improvements that we're kind of getting stuck with getting permits through the state and through the county, but we're going to work through those issues, and you'll see a lot of improvements along the drainage and some of the roadways along Eureka. So I wanted to wrap up, and I didn't take 2 hours, Larry, but kind of what's the future of Tifa? And every so often, it seems like a council person or two kind of attacks Tifa and thinks that maybe the city should abolish Tifa, and I can tell you that it is the single most economic development tool that has changed Taylor. And my recommendation, for what it's worth, is that you do not let Tifa go away. It's currently scheduled to run through the year 2030, and at some point, you know, probably around 2027 or 2028, the city needs to start working on an amendment to extend it, because it is, I think, the one place that the city can collect money and do economic development that really is an improvement for the city. And, you know, some of the things that you do are underground. You know, you don't see sewer and you don't see water replacement, but if you start to have backups and if you don't have water, you're going to complain about it. And so Tifa has improved a lot of that in those districts that I showed you on the map before. So with that, I thank you for inviting me, and look forward to the rest of the speakers.
I don't know about you guys, but that was pretty amazing, just the history of Taylor and all the leadership. I mean, I've only been here for 14 years in Taylor, and it was a great learning experience for me. And then my big highlight, don't laugh, I saw that picture of Chick-fil-A. You guys with me on that? So I'm excited for that. I mean, I don't know if you guys, but Chick-fil-A is just like the hottest thing, and that's just cool. I think now that really puts us on the map now that we have a Chick-fil-A coming. So, but anyway, thank you again, Ron. That was amazing. And now you guys are going to get to hear of some more improvements going on in the city of Taylor, is what's going on with our school district. And we're getting and I don't want to steal his thunder, we're going to be getting a new school campus, and just so many improvements going on with Taylor Schools. And if you have not met him, he is our new superintendent at Taylor Schools. You got to know him over the last couple of years. He's become a great friend, and he is doing amazing things in the school district, and he's going to fill you guys in on what's going on with the new school, but also some great projects they got working. And then after that, you're going to hear from somebody else from the school. So I'm excited to have him speak to you guys, and I want you guys all to give a warm welcome to our new superintendent here, Griff Mills.
Okay, first thing I want to say is I really feel at home here tonight. My father passed away 3 years ago, and you guys all have heard kids referred to as preacher's kids, or their mom, dad was a coach. My dad was a business owner, and I remember when I was 4 years old, they opened up a Bressler's 33 flavor ice cream shop, and that was his first business. And then he opened a pipe shop up, and then he had a couple of Hallmark stores. He had something called the Magic Kitchen. I mean, he did a lot of things. So I was also privy to when people would ask for people to make donations, and will you do some of these things? So I have a great affinity for the business world. I've learned a lot through it. So it's good to be here tonight. Real quick, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly for you guys tonight, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the bond, let you know what progress we've made. We are going to be working on some athletic facilities. I brought just a quick sketch just to give you a visual idea of what that may look like. When's the high school and CTE building going to be done, right? That's always the magic question. We'll show you kind of a timeline for that. Then I just want to introduce the concept of Celebrate Taylor that we're going to be putting on. Also reintroduce our Special Olympics. This will be our second year that we do that this year. And then Armando has twisted my arm, and I have to do a shameless plug for our Education Foundation. So I'm looking forward to that. So looking at the bond, a couple of big things. First off, just so everyone knows, there's a $130 million gift that the community came together and said, we understand we need to do some things to continue to improve our schools. So with that $130 million, obviously the high school is a big piece of that, as well as our CTE program, our Career Technical Education program. And Carly will speak a little bit about that tonight as well. Other components of it is new playgrounds for all 9 of our elementaries. Currently right now, and we're not ready for it yet, but when we go to the next slide, you'll kind of see a picture of what some of those look like. Currently right now, we have 6 of our playgrounds done, and we have 3 remaining. So we're waiting for that. They're saying right now 6 weeks they should have them all done, but they've had labor supply issues. They've had labor supply issues. They've had chain supply issues. A lot of the things that we all experience has kind of slowed that down. We went with 2 companies. The first company got it done, got it in there, got it quick. The second company has slowed things down, but the strategy there was, let's go through 2 instead of just relying on one. What if we get a real slow one and they have some of these issues? It'd take longer to get some of our playgrounds done. So nothing better than to watch kids waiting at the door. We're seeing a video of kids running out to see a new playground. So thank you for that. Another thing that's a part of the bond that was passed is new furniture for all of our classrooms. And so we've gone through some different things there. We have some pilot classrooms at West Middle School. And then we have some pilot classrooms at Kenyon Middle School. And then we have, for our special needs students, we have 1 pilot classroom at Moody. And so our kids have been trying it out, our teachers have been trying it out, showing it around. We took feedback, and now we've added a couple other things just to see what they like. The goal is we want to have our furniture order completed by March. And there will be a couple days that if the community wants to come into any of those buildings, we'll set it up to where you guys can come in and see some of the chairs and some of the different furniture. Other things we've done, maybe not quite as exciting. I've learned a lot about a bond. I thought, man, 52 years or whatever it's been, this is going to be a tough thing. Well, so many people rallied together and helped make this happen. The hardest part has been making it happen now. I think I heard the economic situation. I think we all know about inflation and those things. So keeping all these pieces together is very fluid. And that's where we're at right now is trying to make those things happen, trying to get people good numbers so they can make good decisions on this. But surveying, that's not a real exciting thing, but that's been done. The environmental testing, is there anything in the soil? Is there anything in some of the buildings that will be demolished? The old Kennedy High School building, our current Board of Education. Is there asbestos? Is there those things? And making sure that we kind of go from there and figure those things out. We did a complete district technology assessment. What are our needs? And it was a 10-year plan that we partnered with a technology firm to come in and do those things. And so now we have kind of a long-term plan in terms of what our district technology will look like. Right now, we're in kind of the schematic theme of building a high school and building these things. And then the last thing is, when I first got here, trust was something that it sounded like, at least I was new to the district, was an issue. And so one of the things we promised the community was we put together a oversight committee, and it's people from the community, and they would come in, and we'd have our Plant Moran, who's our owner's rep, just basically pull the curtain back and give information. And so we did that, and Keith is one of the people on that committee. We went 2 hours and basically probably overwhelmed people with all kinds of information. But it's just really important that we try to bring the community into this decision process, and you'll see that happening more and more as we get more numbers and more information. But that's been a really good thing, and I do appreciate you being a part of that. Just a quick picture of one of the playgrounds you can see, and you can probably imagine the excitement when kids got to see this and got to run out and be there. We just can't get these other 3 done quick enough for them. Other things that we've done with bond money, if you've ever driven by the high school a couple months ago, probably about 3 months ago, you may have started to notice all the cracking of the sidewalks, all the curb, all that just kind of exploding almost, kind of turning to powder. And that's just time and water and a lot of things that have happened to it. So we were able to basically repair. We put all brand new sidewalks in, brand new curving. If you haven't seen it, just drive around it, and again, you'll get a sense of pride in terms of some of the things happening. And then that's the other thing. There will be some other updates to the high school, which will be converted to a middle school, is what the future plans are. This is just kind of a rough draft, you guys. If you're familiar with Kennedy High School, you know where the athletic facilities are. And, Foresight is the company that with us in terms of some different thoughts, but they just kind of put a rough draft where you can see football field will be where the football field is. The hope is that we'll be able to afford putting turf on that. That's a pretty common thing, and it's very wearable. You can have all kinds of activities on it. You're not tearing up your grass and all those things. We'll have a baseball, softball field out there. You can see where the tennis courts are right now, and then you just see a couple other things on that side. But just kind of a rough visual draft just to kind of give you an idea. So when I talk about the schedule, bottom line is there's about 6 different things to putting this together, all the way from the schematic design, which we basically finished that up in August, to the design development, and that's where we're at right now. Just trying to price things out, our best forecast in terms of what things are right now. We had a meeting today, and what we're being told is it's a 35% markup in terms of where everything's costing us, which isn't a surprise if anybody's building a new home or doing any building right now. So that presents challenges that nobody has control over the economy, but the community has given us a gift, and we want to do the best we can of providing the best facility, and I'm excited about what the end product's going to be. I'll go down to basically number 4, 2023 in the winter. That's kind of the prime time to get bids out and to do those things. And what I've learned through this process is there's a time that you want to bid things out, and there's a time you don't want to bid things out. That spring and summer, that's where people are working. That's where things are more expensive if you bid them out. So we're really working hard to make that as one of our deadlines. And then if you look at number 5 and number 6, the hope is the fall of 26 into the 27 school year is when we'll have this done, as long as there aren't any other major things that come up that are unexpected and can kind of slow this process down. Next thing I want to introduce to you, it's something that we did in my former district, and I'm on my 3rd year here. I think it's 27 months, and it's something that we did there, and basically we call it Celebrate Taylor. And one of the things, whether it's relationships that I've met with people here or some of our parents or the people that work in Taylor, we have some fantastic people. We also have some great resources. I will say Bubba's is one of my favorite restaurants. I do have to say that. But Celebrate Taylor, it's basically where Business Expo meets our school and our city. And we bring all those together. In my former district, we had between 2,000 and 3,000 people from the community that went through. It is free. I'll say it one more time, because I know there aren't many things free in this world. It is free to our businesses. And basically all you have to do is sign up. And I think Carly's passed some cards around. We'll provide you a 6-foot or 8-foot table with 2 tables. This will happen at the high school. Probably, if this goes like I think it will, we'll probably have over 300 exhibitors. And so all the Taylor businesses, you can come. The one thing I learned from my dad is there's a lot of people that sell similar things. But if you can build a relationship with somebody, that's where you get people to come back and to be loyal to your company and to your product. This is an opportunity, and I'm just going to throw a crazy number out. I heard Jim Harbaugh say this at a graduation speech one time. He said, if your dreams aren't big, if people aren't laughing at your dreams, they aren't big enough. My hope is you'll see 3,000 or 4,000 people from our community walking through here, building relationships with our businesses, giving you a free opportunity, and there's no admission for our families or anybody else either, but giving you an opportunity to build those relationships. It's not often probably that you can get 3,000 or 4,000 people coming through and you don't have to pay anything for the advertisement for it. So that's kind of what the expo is. You'll see our kids doing performances all through the high school. I think we've got a petting zoo coming. There's just going to be a lot, but it's something to celebrate our community. And I think Mayor and I, we've got a February 2nd meeting. This is one of the things I want to talk to them and see how they can be involved. But just a way to celebrate. The second slide just kind of shows you we've got a website, and it shows you the thing that's circled there. It says exhibitor registration. You can click on that, sign up, and you're good to go. Again, it's free. So I'm hoping it's an opportunity for you and your businesses to connect with all of us and our families. Something else we did last year, and we're really proud of this, is our Special Olympics Day. And we had roughly about 200 kids participate last year. it brought so many people together. It brought our community together. The city was involved. They had fire trucks, police cars. All of our first responders were there, and that was kind of the theme of it. This year's theme is superheroes, and that's one of the best pictures. Out of all the pictures that we saw, was one of our local police officers running with one of the kids in one of the races. Great event. It's going to be in May 18th is when it will be. Going back to the Celebrate Taylor, that's April 27th. Just to give you some ideas in terms of that. But this is something that we're just excited about to do. If you do want to do sponsorship, there was a lot of people that did that last year. Just reach out to the school, reach out to any of us. I think there'll be some information going out. Feel free to do that. Don't feel like you have to, though. But we're excited to celebrate our special needs kids. Last but not least, our Taylor Educational Foundation. Armando's here. He's got some things either he's passed out already, and he just wants you to take a look at it. Our foundation is a group of, it's a small group, it's growing, of wonderful people that love Taylor schools. And they have done so many things, from scholarships. You can read some of the things that they've done. 32 scholarships totaling over $30,000. They've made all kinds of different events happen. They let our teachers fill out grants. I think they've given about $8,000 in terms of the grants. If there's something that our teacher needs or wants, they can feel free to go to them. So again, another group that we are very appreciative of. Thank you, Marta. Did I forget anything? Is that good? Okay. You guys, thank you. Thanks for all your support.
So I would say, as business owners, take advantage of that Celebrate Taylor. When I heard that discussion happen, I thought that is just perfect. That fits right into the Business Alliance. You're going to get a chance to meet other businesses, give back to the community, but also when you hear our next speaker come up and talk, you're really going to understand how important it is to get your business involved in Celebrate Taylor. So, but I'm really, really excited about what they're doing and how the school is just getting involved in the community. And I think that's it gives us all as business owners to help mold our future, our youth. We all know that's our future for our kids and our grandkids. So, and I love what you guys are doing, Griff. I appreciate it, and appreciate just getting all of us involved as well too. So now our next speaker is, you heard him talk about the CTE. That's the Career Technical Center that they have there. And I've been there a couple times, and it's been amazing. And Carly's the principal there, and she is doing an amazing job. And she's got a program I think will really get you guys perked up and get you interested in getting involved in the school even more. So the principal at CTE and Taylor Career Center, Ms. Carly Barnard.
Hello everybody, thanks for having me back. I was here last year. I've also presented at the Rotary a few times, and so I'm so lucky that I actually know a lot of you in here today, and you've actually already been getting involved with us, and I just want to really thank you for that. Yeah, we can go to the first slide. So I did put a flyer on all the tables. If you wanted to take one, go ahead. Just a little about our Career Center in case you aren't familiar. Right now we currently have 575 students. We have 13 teachers, 1 counselor, 1 principal, 9 paraprofessionals, and 10 club advisors. So if you look at, it's fine, you can go next one. But if you look on the flyer does have all of the programs that we have. 2 main goals that we have every year is to increase enrollment and awareness, and to develop our community partner relationships. These are all the classes that we offer. So if you just look on this flyer right here, I won't read them all to you, but these are all the classes that we offer on this front side with the blue at the bottom. So, your businesses, you could kind of see where you might fit in and where you might want to partner up with us with the programs that we have. You can choose specific programs, reach out to those specific instructors. I do want to say that one of my teachers is here with me today, Mr. Valden Arnold. He's actually new, he just started this year, and he's not from Down River, so he wanted to come today and make some connections with this community. He is our business management administration teacher, our marketing teacher, and our digital multimedia teacher. So he teaches all 3 classes. He has 1 section in each. So he wanted to come today, and he's putting together an advisory committee to get some industry professionals to kind of partner up with his classroom. So later, when you guys are networking, if you want to go over and see Arnold, he would love that. So thank you for coming. So these are all of the clubs we offer. We have Business Professionals of America, DECA, Alpha Eta Rho, that's for our avionics classes, Educators Rising, Skills USA, Robotics, and National Technical Honor Society. So when you sign up for our Celebrate Taylor event, if you need some help, like setting up your booths or having somebody pass something out for you, any of our club advisors would love to send you some of our kids. They would love to get involved, help you, get some leadership skills, network with you, and then promote your business for you at that event. So if you feel that you need a little bit more help or you're short-staffed that day, need some help, any of our students in these clubs or in our programs would love to get involved and help you out. So our CTE programs participate in something called work-based learning. It is a state requirement for us accepting funding from the state for CTE. So every program has to report to the state how they meet those needs and those requirements. So we are looking to incorporate using a new company, well, not new, but new to Downriver, called Emerge Skilled to pair us with our companies. I did talk about this last year when we were here and we hadn't signed officially up yet. We were just getting started. So now we are started. We have over 400 students with profiles on this website. So if you want to go to the next one. So this green flyer on your tables. This flyer is how you can sign up for that. But after this slide, I'll go over that more. So these are other ways that you can also connect with our students. February 14th, we're having a CTE fair. So if your business wanted to set up a table there, you get to meet and mingle with all of our students. It's not a trade show though for selling. It's actually for recruiting employees and hiring our kids, or talking with them, mock interviewing them. So it's an opportunity for them to see what your career field might look like and jobs that might pertain to their industry that they're interested in. So that is February 14th. If you're interested in that, please reach out to us and we can give you a space in our gym. We will be doing mock interviews on May 2nd, and I just want to thank the Rotary. The Rotary comes every year, but we have a lot more students this year than we had last year. So we need a lot more volunteers. So we're looking for industry professionals to come in and mock interview our kids. They'll come prepared with a resume, they'll be dressed professional, and then you would mock interview them. And just a little bit of your time would go a long way for our students. So that's on May 2nd. You could join our program advisory committees. We have 2 meetings a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. A lot of our teachers are offering virtual components as well, so that we can get as many industry professionals to attend these as possible. So each one of our programs that we offer has their own meeting. So this isn't like one big meeting for all of them. You would actually attend a program of your choice that you feel you want to partner up with, and then offer them advice on what the industry is looking for when they're hiring our students. You would be involved in curriculum planning and looking at the syllabus and touring the facility, looking to see what materials and supplies that are being used, and letting our instructors know the needs that are out there in the industry. So you could employ our students. We do have a co-op program, so if you did actually hire our kids, they would be involved in co-ops, so they would be getting the employability skills they need in class with that instructor and then going to work for you. We are looking for sponsors for Student of the Month luncheons. I do want to thank Bubba's. Bubba sponsored us last month. Downriver Business Alliance is sponsoring us this month. And we do have the Rotary sponsoring us the month after that. So those 3 so far, thank you so much. I do want to thank Northline Nutrition because she also brought over some teas for our staff. We got to give them some love too. So thank you so much for that. So I do want to thank all of you that are already getting involved with us. It just means the world to the kids. They get so excited when they come in and get celebrated for that. So we also look for gift cards for our PBIS monthly winners. That's our positive intervention system that we have where the kids can win career cash for good behavior or going out and doing a job shadow or things like that, and then we draw winners. And we're always looking for prizes for them because that's not something that we can use our supply and equipment budget money for. So we're always looking for, even if it's $5, it's just something that they get excited about. And if you follow me on social media, we do have a Facebook page for Taylor Career and Technical Center, and we do make sure that we always thank our sponsors and give you that credit. So you could assist in our club activities. We're always looking for judges for our competitions, robotics competitions, JROTC events, even looking for materials for those so you could get involved with our clubs. You could donate scholarship money for trade schools or college for the CTE students, which you could get involved with our foundation for that. There's our foundation plug right there. And then also participate in our Celebrate Taylor event. So last thing on my agenda is the Emerge Guild. So this is a company that we're using, and they're not charging us. It's free for us and for the businesses. So basically, it's almost like a little mini LinkedIn. So all of our students have set up profiles on here. So it's a safe way for the students to connect with our businesses. So all of our students have profiles. They've uploaded resumes, and they've answered some interview questions, and their answers are on there for you to see. And then you could go on and sign up and have your profile on there as well as for your business. And then you could offer things to the students that they could apply for. So you could post job opportunities. You could post job shadow opportunities, mock interview opportunities, phone interview. You could offer a tour. You could offer a field trip. You could offer to be a guest speaker in the classroom. And you could put all of those things on your profile on Emerge Guild, and then it will match you up with the students. And so it is for the students, they can showcase their skills and discover opportunities after they create their profile, and then it will match them with the companies. For the schools, it'll provide hands-on opportunities for students to learn about those career paths. It'll boost their student interaction and then build and maintain relationships with the companies that are local in our area. One of the things that my advisors are having a hard time with trying to find these opportunities for the kids is that transportation. They don't have it. So we're looking for local, we're looking for Taylor. Like right now, we only have 2 construction companies signed up, and neither one of them are local. So our construction kids right now aren't being able to utilize this. So we're really looking for local companies to sign up and partner with us, because our kids are going to be riding their bikes or their scooters, or a brother or sister will drop them off, but they can't drive them super far. So we are looking for our local Taylor businesses to get involved with us. You go to the next one. I'm kind of summarizing this. So this is a way for you to connect with your community and get involved with the schools as well. And you go to the next one. Yeah, so you can't be everywhere at once, so this is a good way for you to reach out and find good quality employees, because I will say that our students, their curriculum is industry specific. They're getting certifications for what they need to work in your businesses. So our culinary students are getting ServSafe Handler certifications. So normally companies pay for that, and we're paying for them to get that. So you're just getting the benefits as well of getting like good quality, qualified, eager kids to work in your businesses. Our construction kids, get OSHA certified, and our welding kids are getting welding certifications. And so every one of our programs is getting a certification in the industry that they're in. Our nursing students are getting CNAs. Our teacher cadet kids are getting the Child Youth Development Associates. So all of our programs are offering industry certifications. So you're going to get quality kids that not just want to work, but they also have been trained. So that's a good way for you to find good quality employees as well, because I know that that's kind of gone by the wayside lately. So to learn more about this, there is a link at the bottom of this sheet, and you could fill it out. It only takes a few minutes. And then the company will reach out to you and let you know more about getting that profile set up and then making those connections with us. Or if you don't want to do this, just email me. Call me. Come on up. We welcome you guys to come in, and a lot of you have already been in, a lot of you have toured and donated and reached out, and I really appreciate that. We really love working with Taylor and our Taylor businesses, so thank you for that.
So thank you, Carly, I really do encourage you to go get a tour of the facility. We've been there as a Rotary Club for their culinary arts kids, and they've cooked us lunch before, and because they have a restaurant built right in there, so that's how we've toured the facility, seen the welding shop, seen the I call it the nursing academy. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing that you guys want to go check out and be involved in. So I saved the best for last, and I will give you a little bit of a warning. I think you need to have some tissues ready, because you will get choked up and you will get emotional. And I'll just make it okay. If you don't, you just don't have a soul. But you guys don't know. I'm just joking with you. But this next speaker is a near, dear friend of mine. I'm honored to call her my friend, and we've been working together for a long time on this project, and it is amazing. It's so near and dear to my heart. I've been working with Kella now on this for over 5 years, doing this program, Night to Shine. It is a life changer. It's just an amazing, I guess, I get emotional talking about it because it is one of my favorite things I ever do. And even I'll admit, as a grown adult, I cry extremely hard at this event because I just see the impact it has and the impact it even has on me. So it's an amazing event, and I really encourage you guys to pay close attention to what Kella's going to show you tonight about an awesome thing that happens here in the city of Taylor that maybe a lot of you didn't even know about. So my great friend from 242 Church, Ms. Kella Petrowski.
How's everybody doing? Good, everybody still awake? Yeah, good. Have another glass of wine. You know, settle on in. Keith and I have been working on this for a long time together. Night to Shine is an amazing event. It started 9 years ago as a dream of a man named Tim Tebow. Started as an effort to make the world a place where all people are valued and honored for their God-given worth. The vision was simple: to work with churches around the country to provide an unforgettable prom experience centered on God's love for people with special needs ages 14 and older. So that is, you know, the logistics of it, the wording that the Tim Tebow Foundation put together to tell you what Night to Shine is. But Night to Shine is something that really does pull at your heartstrings. I work at a church. We have a lot of families that come through our doors. I am a mom. I have a lot of friends that have kids, and a lot of those families that I meet, families that are in my life, have children with special needs. And I'm sure everyone in here has been touched some way by this. And these are the kids that when they're in the grocery stores with their parents, they're, you know, getting stared at. They're excluded from birthday parties. They're left out of things. They're the last ones picked for the game, or not picked at all. And it's just very hard to live that kind of life and to watch your child go through that. You know, I've got 2 kids, and I love it when I see them get included in things with friends and get to go do things, and it can really embitter someone to see their child get hurt over and over again by society. So I kind of feel like that's where Tim Tebow's heart was when he started this, was to honor the people that get excluded and to make them feel unique and special and loved, and get crowned king and queen of the prom and just have an amazing night. So if you don't know who Tim Tebow is, I don't know that many people don't know who he is, but I'm not a sports person, but he's a super cool quarterback for the Denver Broncos. He used to be. He was the first underclassman ever to win the Heisman Trophy, but he's most known for his faith and his walk with God. And he used all of his celebrity, everything that he earned from his God-given talent, to step into a calling, several callings that God has put on his life, and one of them is Night to Shine. And when you step into a calling that God puts on your life, amazing things happen. Those callings are blessed. So the very first year that Night to Shine happened, it was hosted in 44 churches across 26 states in 3 different countries with over 15,000 volunteers that served 7,000 guests. And they thought that was pretty cool, right? Like, that sounds pretty awesome to me for your first event. But by 2020, the last time that we had an in-person prom, there were 721 churches across all 50 states, 34 countries, and over 200,000 volunteers to serve 110,000 guests. And this year will be a lot like 2020 was. Probably more. People are ready to get back to the normal swing of things after COVID, and the love for this event is so strong. And Larry's going to play a little video so you can see it for yourself.
You know what, COVID can cancel a lot of things, but it can't cancel worth and value and love for people.
This is our night to shine. This is our time. This is our night to shine. This is our night. This is our night. This is our night to shine.
And then the next year, I was actually on staff. It was Life Bridge Church at the time. And they asked me if I would lead the event. I'm like, yes, I don't even have to think about that. So I led the event for 2 years in a row at Life Bridge, and then we became 242 Community Church. And 3 weeks later, COVID happened, and we have not been able to do an in-person prom in 2 years. So what that's looked like, we still wanted to treat our guests and give them a special night. So Tim Tebow's organization would put together a fun virtual video prom that the kids could watch at home. And we would have volunteers that would drive to each of the guests' home and take them, you know, crowns and tiaras and gifts and balloons and make them feel special. But I've heard from my guests, because I have one guy, his name is Matt, and he tells me no all the time how lame the virtual prom was and how, is it gonna be in person? Finally, I'm like, yes, Matt, it's in person. So everybody is super excited. And I wanted to tell you just a little bit about what it takes to host a Night to Shine. Imagine you're putting on a wedding every single year, but even more so than just a wedding. It's a wedding mixed with a prom. It's a banquet, it's a karaoke night, it's a dance, it's at our church, it's bowling, there's decorations, there's so many things to take into consideration, and COVID really put a damper on that. You know, prices are higher, people are not as engaged as they used to be, so this year's been a little bit of a struggle, but we love to spoil our guests. So no matter, you know, even if we're short on a little bit of our areas, it's going to happen. The morning starts with ladies coming into the church. Stylists have donated their time to fix their hair and do their makeup. Just make them beautiful for the night. And then when the prom starts at 5 o'clock, all the guests come through. You see here, they're on the red carpet. If you go back, that was the red carpet. Every guest gets a red carpet experience with paparazzi and adoring fans cheering them on, and you should see these kids strutting down this red carpet. It's amazing, and their parents are sobbing watching them walk down. This experience alone, just the red carpet's worth the price of admission to be a volunteer. It's really, really cool. Then they're all served a dinner in the auditorium. From there, they can go dancing and sing karaoke and go bowling. Another part of this event is our respite room. So I was talking a little bit about the parents earlier, and when you are a parent to a child with special needs, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job for any parent, but it just feels a little heavier, I think, when you're caring for someone to this extent. And we want to recognize them for that and give them a little bit of a breather. So we have a respite room that actually Northline Church sponsors for us every year, and it's amazing. We have catered food in there for the parents. We have people doing chair massage. We're giving away gift baskets and gift cards and just making them feel special and giving them some time for adult conversation. I mean, as parents, we all know how important adult conversation is, right? And one of the things that makes this possible is every guest gets a buddy that comes in the door. So if you have 150 guests, I have to have 150 buddies that are going to hang with that guest all night and take them around and make them feel special and party with them. And it's kind of cool for them because they get a little independence. I mean, when you think of partying, is your mom there? I don't know, mine's not, well, now she probably is, but back then when I was that age, she's not there. So it's just another perk that we get to do with our buddies in our respite room, and it takes a small army to pull this off. It takes about 300 volunteers to get this done, but it takes more than that. It takes donations of not only people's time, but of services, of products, and donations of money. And this year, it's almost like starting over, like I said, with the pandemic, and we have to buy a lot of things brand new. We have to reestablish relationships with vendors, and I'm here today to ask for your support and sponsorships for this event. I represent a church that has 7 campuses that are hosting Night to Shine across Southeast Michigan, and the money is just not where it was 3 years ago when we did this. So in order for us to make this happen and to spoil these guests as much as we would like to, we need support from our community. So if you're interested in sponsoring, let me know. I'm going to stick around. If you're interested in volunteering, I would love to have you there. I can share with you the links to register to volunteer. If you have someone that you would like to sign up as a guest, I still have room in Taylor for that too. So yeah, come talk to me afterwards, and I'd love to chat with you about any of it. And I just thank you for having me out.
I told you to get you a little choked up. Me and Griff are getting a little teary-eyed, and I told you I gotta get a tissue too. But this is, and here's the, and I know you might be thinking, why, it's just a couple weeks away, why the last minute ask? Tim Tebow didn't announce this going live until a couple months ago. So we didn't know if he's gonna do it in person or cancel it, make it virtual again. So we got put in this on the spot with our backs against the wall going, hey, I'm gonna let you guys know here just a few months ago that we're gonna do this. So that's why Kel is asking for some help, and if you can volunteer, if you can donate monetarily, if you got some services, but it's a great experience. I know my favorite part is the red carpet. I love it, and I love it. And she didn't talk about, but we have limo rides in the parking lot. The kids get to ride in the limo, the karaoke bar. It's just an amazing event. So if you have that tug on your heart, see Kel tonight and talk to her. I tell you, you will not be disappointed. This is a guy that's been doing it for the last 5 years. You will not be disappointed. One of the things, I want to invite up a couple of new businesses. I can't have this event without highlighting new businesses. That's one of the reasons I did this. I know what it's like starting out. When I moved my business to Taylor years ago, sometimes you feel like you're alone on an island. But so I got Ian and Gloria, if they could come up here and let them all introduce themselves and do, I call it their elevator speech. And if there's anybody else that's had their business here in Taylor for 1 year or less, and haven't gotten the microphone at the Taylor Business Alliance to introduce yourself, I just want you to come up, introduce yourself, tell everybody real quick what your business is, and then we'll dismiss and do some networking. So Ian and Gloria, come on up here, and if there's anybody else that has not been highlighted at our Business Alliance as a new business, come on up here and we'll have you stand in line, and each of you just introduce yourself for a couple minutes. So this is a new business in Taylor. I'm going to let them talk about it, but this is Ian and Gloria. Take it away, guys.
Taylor. We were actually originally founded in Ohio in 2020, right before the pandemic, and we moved here to Michigan the very next year and kind of started all over. So we are a art printing business. We are particularly interested in fine art, illustration printing, art books, but we also have our hands in flyers, business cards, buttons, magnets.
We're trying to, we are Gawk Printing, LLC, by the way. We are slowly expanding and getting more equipment. We're still pretty much in the startup phase, even though we've been in business for a few years, especially with the move. But like she said, we're focused on printing for artists. We're trying to find a new network of customers out here. If anyone has family, kids at CTS, let them know we exist. That would be awesome. And we're also interested in producing for anyone who has events coming up, like she said, for flyers and materials like that.
We're also artists and designers ourselves, so we go out to trade shows, art shows, and we produce all of our own prints and manufacture all of our own work as well. So we're here for design work, freelance illustration, But we do produce all of our work, so any trade shows in the area, we have a hard time like knowing how to network. Yeah, since we're so new to the area as a business, it was almost easy for us in Cleveland because we were right out of art school, so we had a lot of connections there. And now it's almost like we have none. Brand new fresh start. So that's really why we're here, to network with other businesses, even if they're not art businesses.
Where are you located?
Taylor.
Where?
Right by
On
the bowling
E-course,
alley?
on E-course, pretty much across the street from 7-Eleven. We work out of our house still. We don't have a brick and mortar or anything, might not for a while. But one of the office rooms in our house is where we do most of our work currently.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So, another new business, come on up here, Adam. I just got to talk to him on the phone the other day, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. He speaks my language, he speaks food. So I'm gonna let him do all the talking, but and excited to have him in Taylor as well. So take it away, guys.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know, it's my first time I want to talk. We are new in business. No, we are in business, but we're going to be here in Taylor soon. We hope like in April or May. We already have a business in a bakery, like we do cakes, wedding cakes, all occasions. And now we almost like 7 months. We took over, if anyone like in Sweet Tooth, 6617 Ellen Road, next to the Dollar Show in downtown Ellen Park. So we already have a business like as a bakery. And as I said, like on April or May, we're gonna be on Taylor. And I think everyone know where we're gonna be like in Taylor. It's gonna be like 20379 acres. It used to be like a flower shop, and before it used to be a restaurant, Skippers. Thank you so much. And we hope to be like we're gonna be involved with the community as much as we can, and we need your support. And I don't know what I said. This is May. Not restaurant, it's gonna be bakery business. Yes, it's gonna be like cakes, and the location is gonna be like ice cream shop and cakes and bakery supply. And it's gonna be like out-sitting and in the future out-sitting, and it's gonna be like for small birthday parties and stuff like this. She's the boss, she's the baker. I'm helping her. My job, I used to be a police officer, and now she's my boss. But trust me, taking order from the court, it's way easier than to take order from my wife. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
So for both those businesses, welcome to Taylor, and that's what we want to do. We want to help businesses get launched out, and my favorite story is, you guys remember the Poppin' and Mixin' popcorn? They were just new to the business and new to Taylor, and their business exploded by coming to an event like this. So we want to help new businesses. So for all of us, let's support these new businesses and just network and get them connected, because hey, you got a good successful business, they're here to stay, and they can give back to the community more. So folks, thank you for being here tonight. I want to again thank Daryl Jameson and J&M Towing for sponsoring our food tonight. So give them another round of applause again. But thanks again for coming, and enjoy yourselves, and let's just, and remember, April 20th is our next one, and let's have some more fun, invite some more businesses. Thanks for coming, everybody, and talk to all the speakers and get connected with them and see how you can help them. Thanks again, we'll see everybody in April.